Hi, and welcome to the CRF podcast hosted by me, Asia. I need to get something out of the way before we get into the episode, so this is really hard for me to do. We're gonna try to get through it the best that I can, so bear with me. My brother's best friend, who was also a dear friend of mine, really, really good friend, he was a huge supporter of this podcast. He loved asking me questions about it. He loved talking to me about my equipment. He just was really, really helpful, and he really believed in me, in my dream and in my goals. He also really wanted to be a guest host on the podcast, and we were working on that. We wanted to get like the best equipment, the best sound stuff, like to really, really do it up, and we were in the process of that. I can't even believe to tell you how much this guy was just amazing. But he also offered to get me some editing software that was like some really good editing software, because he knew that what I was working with at the time, I was like, this sucks. This really sucks. I couldn't afford to pay a subscription for Adobe Premiere Pro, like the whole CC Cloud thing every month. It was just like it was getting ridiculous, the amount of things I was having to pay for, and so I was trying to cut back and find some other editing software that like didn't have a huge learning curve, because I'm so used to working on Adobe Premiere Pro. I've been doing it for years now. And he was like, oh, well, have you tried this one? And he was gonna like help me get it. It's just, anyway. Unfortunately, we never did get the chance for him to guest host on the show, because he passed away from a car accident last Sunday, which was a few days ago, depending on when you're seeing this. Okay. He was 18 years old, really young, and it really shook me up. So I was trying to figure out if I wanted to do this episode or not, and just like wait a week and try to clear my head. But I ultimately decided to still continue this week, because number one, I know that that's what Jacob would have wanted. Anytime I tried to like get out of doing anything, he'd be like, no, go do it. It's like, no, you got this. So that's number one, why I'm doing this. And number two is because I'd like to dedicate this episode to Jacob Harris. Thank you so much for everything that you've done, every single thing that you've done, because there's so many of them. And you know what? You didn't get to be a guest host, but you got something even better, because now you are honorary guest host now and forever. You don't just get one episode, like you get them all. Jacob, this is all for you. Now I dedicate this to you. So I had to get that out before I started this episode. So if I seem a little somber this week, that's why. Just a heads up. Thank you for your patience, though, as I got through that tribute. Alright? Okay, we're gonna move on now. But I want to cry. I really don't. Okay. So this week's episode is going to be truly ridiculous, but this is what this is for. It's the Completely Random Foolishness podcast. Do I really need to explain myself here? No, I don't. Okay. So this week's episode is about me letting the internet write a movie script for me, and I made myself the star. Okay. So when I was growing up, I'd say like age 8 and younger, I wanted to model and act. For those people who know me very well, like currently, they'll be like, huh? You wanted to do what? Because I am a very quiet person. I'm introverted. And the opportunities that I've had to act in like some of my friends' short films and stuff, like I didn't want to do it. So they'll probably be like, Asia, what are you talking about? At the time though, at the time when I was younger, I was pretty tall for my age actually. Right now I'm 5'4", so I'm like short. But at the time I hit my growth spurt really early, and I was tall all the way up until the 6th grade, which is when I like pretty much stopped growing. I think in the 6th grade I was like 5'3". Yeah, I was only like an inch shorter than I am now, but anyway. I was always the tallest girl. Well, like, not the tallest, but like sometimes I'd be the second tallest. But anyway, my point is I was pretty tall. And so I figured, like, hey, I'm tall. Like, I love modeling. I love taking pictures. I love all of this stuff. I love acting in plays. I want to do this, you know? I'm not sure, like, what the requirement is for children to model, but I know that women, like, you gotta be tall. So I also hadn't hit my fat stage, so that was in the 4th grade, but like 3rd grade and under, I was pretty thin. I gained a ton of weight in the 4th and 5th grade. There's a lot of things going on at that time. I'm gonna leave that alone. But I was, like I said, I was a theater kid. I wanted to model and act, but I didn't want to act in TV shows and commercials and things like that. I wanted to act in theater. I did so many plays, and a lot of the time I got the lead role. So I wasn't just a background kid. Like, no, I was out there. Which is why some people are like, Asia, I thought you were shy. I'm like, no, I'm not shy. I'm just introverted. It's a difference. It's really a difference. Okay, my throat. My mom also got me into a ton of like smaller modeling gigs, like nothing big, but stuff that she could find in our area. I would do a lot of those. I don't even know where any of my stuff is. I wish I could make like a portfolio. Not that I want to model now, but just like to go back and to look at all the stuff that I did would be really cool. I have no idea where it is though. So, this was my life up until it wasn't. Yeah. When my mom died, I suddenly decided I didn't want to do that anymore. As a matter of fact, I didn't want to do much of anything. I will say that the only thing I really wanted to do was hide from people, because I had a bunch of people trying to diagnose me and assess my mental state, and that was kind of odd for me as a 4th grader. I was like, can y'all just leave me alone? So I like to stay out of the spotlight. And anytime you have a transition from something you love doing to not doing it anymore, you kind of go through something. Let me try to explain it the best way that I can. It would be equivalent, I guess, to say you're 22 years old and you've been dancing for 18 years of your life. You've been like dedicating yourself to this and training really hard, and now you got yourself this prestigious dance internship. I don't know dance very well, so I don't know if that's like an accurate thing, but I'm trying. So you get this prestigious dance internship only to decide that the thing you wanted, you don't want it anymore. And if you've ever dealt with that before, you know that it leaves you with sort of a, well, what now type feeling. Like, what do I do now? So anyway, here I am as a filmmaker and podcaster, among other things. I do quite a bit with my life. I love to just dabble in a bunch of different stuff. I can't just stick to one thing. Never have, never will. But it makes me wonder what would have happened had I stuck with acting. What would have happened? Last year was the first year I'd actually done anything in quite a while with acting. I did a musical for Joseph and the Technicolor Dreamcoat, which isn't quite the same thing. I had never done a musical before, but it wasn't quite the same because it wasn't based on my acting ability at that point. It was really more about the singing, which they had me singing first soprano. If you know anything about first soprano, it's really freaking high. I sing alto normally. I've never sung soprano ever. Even when I was a younger kid, I always sang alto. And so singing first soprano, I was like, are you crazy? That's what you want me to do? When they assigned the roles, I was like, did you even hear me sing? Like, did you hear me? There's no way you heard me. And decided that I'd be a first soprano. Anyway. So I did that, which was an experience, I will say, because I hadn't done anything like that in quite some time. But it was super fun, and I'm glad I did it. I am. It made me really happy to be doing something that I used to love. Sort of like I was doing something just for me, and not because I had to, but just because I wanted to, which I haven't done, like I said, in a long time. So it was just nice. that's basically what I'm trying to say. But anyway, with that being said, I ran across this generator. I was looking for something to do for this week's episode, and basically this generator, what you do is you fill in the blanks for a story and it writes a script for you. And I decided to do this because I said, hey, I used to want to act and stuff when I was younger. Why don't I like try it again now? What better way to do it than to write my own stuff and act in it? Here's the thing. I didn't actually want to take the time to write something out, because if it turned out really good, then, oh, you know what I just realized? If you're watching this on YouTube, which I don't know if you are or not, I had a picture of my logo on my computer screen in the background, but like you can't see it because the camera is like not picking it up. So it just looks like a white screen. That's what it is though. That's just why I'm explaining it. Okay, so where was I at? If I actually took the time to write something myself, because I am a scriptwriter, I'm a screenwriter, I'm a filmmaker. If I actually took the time to write something, then if it was good, I would want to keep it and not act in it myself and not like talk about it right now. So I had to figure out another way to do that, and that's how I got the idea of, oh, this generator, that should be cool. So I'm writing under the pen name R.L. Stain, all right? And the script that I've already generated, I'm going to read it to you. Just so you know, the only genre that this website currently has is overcoming the monster. So that's all you're gonna get. Sorry. I screenshotted every blank that I filled in. So let me just like go through it real quick. It asks you for 3 locations. It asks you for your protagonist. You get to name them. You get to choose 2 adjectives to describe them and their job. You also do that for the sidekick and for a love interest and enemy. So I chose my protagonist to be Dr. Leo Worm. Yeah, Leo Worm. And he's clever and helpful. And he's a psychiatrist. So good stuff. Okay, his sidekick, her name is Tutu McGee. She's friendly, she's bold, and she's a detective, so she's cool too. Okay, and then his love interest, I don't know where I got these names from. His love interest is Lisa Logtruck. She's noble, she's hilarious, and she's a shopkeeper. Some of these I couldn't think of anything for, so I used their randomize button, which is how I got shopkeeper. I would have never thought of that. And then we have his enemy, Joe Paul, who I came up with a backstory for him, kind of. Joe Paul is angry because his first and his last name is both first names. So he's like really upset about that. That's why he's a villain anyway. To describe Joe Paul, I gave him greedy and brutal, and he's a swordsman. Like, that's his job. I don't know if that's a thing. Can you just be a swordsman as a career? Can you do that? That'd be really cool. I'm gonna try that. So then you also have to give them a type of monster, what could be used to defeat the monster, something precious, and an adjective to describe that precious thing. So I chose a goblin. You could defeat the goblin with rifles. Something precious is a pendant, and the pendant is magic. And then ask you for a vegetable, a type of sweet thing, a type of music, and a group of villains. Not villains, victims. A group of victims. So for the vegetable, I chose a carrot. I chose caramel for the type of sweet thing. I chose classical for a type of music. And a group of victims, I chose kittens. Because they're so cute and round. They can't really do much to protect themselves. And then it asks you for 2 more things. Something bad that the monster might do to his victims, and an embarrassing secret you might reveal at a weak moment. So the bad thing I chose was to squash something or someone. That'd be pretty bad. An embarrassing secret is I'm afraid of dust. That's right. My protagonist, Leo Worm, Dr. Leo Worm, is afraid of dust. He's got a weakness. And obviously, like I just said, my pen name is R.L. Stain. Such a genius pen name. Oh, I'm so smart. Okay. So I'm gonna click on the script and I'm gonna star in my own movie. Now, I did not read this beforehand, so I have no clue what this is about to turn out like. I just generated it and then saved the link so I could go back to it later. But I'm gonna play all the characters, so this should be interesting. I have to like bring my phone up here with me so I can read it better. Okay. This actually like really reminds me of the table reads we used to do in college. It was so much fun. We had a professor, Mr. Pierce, who was absolutely amazing. I don't even know what else to say. And he made filmmaking so much fun. And table reads, which I know can get pretty tedious if you have to do them every single day. He really took the time to work with us on our scripts and on like just on the whole project as a whole. He wanted to make sure we had like every little detail covered, and it was amazing. So I like really appreciate Mr. Pierce for that. I probably would have never loved table reads if it wasn't for him, but now I get so excited when I get to read a script with other people. The thing is though, like with a table read, you have different people playing different characters. I'm playing all of them, so get ready for some odd voices. I mean, I'm gonna try my best here. But this is acting. This is what I wanted to do. Except right now, it's just me sitting in a chair. So here we go. The name of it is called Greedy Goblin by R.L. Stain. Okay, this is me, by the way. I'm R.L. Stain, just in case you didn't know. Exterior, a greasy diner, afternoon. Clever psychiatrist Dr. Leo Worm is arguing with friendly shopkeeper Miss Lisa Logtruck. Leo tries to hug Lisa, but she shakes him off. Please, Lisa, don't leave me. I'm sorry, Leo. Oh, I'm not gonna be able to get through this. Okay. I'm sorry, Leo, but I'm looking for somebody a bit more brave. Somebody who faces his fears head on instead of running away. I am such a person. Lisa frowns. I'm sorry, Leo. I just don't feel excited by this relationship anymore. Lisa leaves. Leo sits down looking defeated. Moments later, noble Detective Tutu McGee barges in looking flustered. I don't know what voice to give her. Like, I feel like I'm gonna accidentally give her the same voice as Lisa Logtruck. Let me try. So here's Leo. Goodness, Tutu. Is everything okay? I'm afraid not. Ugh. What was that? What was that? I shouldn't be a voice actor, so I can only do like one voice. I gotta think of a voice to give her. Like, should it be... I gave, like, Lisa this really weird, like, Southern antebellum 67... I don't know, like, 50 sounding... What year would that be? What year would that be? I don't know. But Lisa doesn't sound like she's from this time period. Tutu. Let me see. Should I give her, like, a British... I can't do a British accent. Well, I don't even know why I said that. I really don't know why I said that. Okay. I'm gonna think of something. Here's Leo again. Let me try this again. Goodness, Tutu. Is everything okay? I'm afraid not. What is it? Don't keep me in suspense. It's a goblin. I saw an evil goblin squash a bunch of kittens. Defenseless kittens? Yes, defenseless kittens. Bloomin' heck, Tutu. We've got to do something. I agree. But I wouldn't know where to start. You can start by telling me where this happened. Tutu fans herself and begins to wheeze. Focus, Tutu, focus! Where did it happen? Central Park, New York. That's right, Central Park, New York. Leo springs up and begins to run. Exterior, we're changing scenes, a road continuous. Leo rushes along the street, followed by Tutu. They take a shortcut through some back gardens, jumping fences along the way. Okay, exterior, Central Park, New York, shortly after. Joe Paul, a greedy goblin, terrorizes two kittens. Leo, closely followed by Tutu, rushes towards Joe, but suddenly stops in his tracks. What is it? What's the matter? That's not just any old goblin. That's Joe Paul. Who's Joe Paul? Who's Joe Paul? Who's Joe Paul? Only the most greedy goblin in the universe. It sounds so stupid. This is funny though. Okay. What? Where am I at? Oh. Blinking knickers, Leo. We're going to need some help if we're going to stop the most greedy goblin in the universe. You can say that again. Blinking. Did she say blinking knickers twice? She does. That's so odd. Okay. Blinking knickers, Leo. We're going to need some help if we're going to stop the most greedy goblin in the... Okay. This is why you don't get the internet to write a script for you. It literally repeated this line twice. Literally. Okay. Here's Leo again. I'm going to need rifles. Lots of rifles. Joe turns and sees Leo and Tutu. He grins an evil grin. Leo. Oh, wait, that's Joe. What voice do I give Joe? I can't do... I don't know how to do a second man's voice. I'm already not doing a good job with the other one. Okay, so we gotta think this through. Like, Joe. I wish I could do different accents. Like, but every time I try to do an accent, it just kind of morphs into something else. Like, I can start off German and Russian, or I don't know. I think I try to do Russian ones, and I start off Russian, and it, like, evolves into, like, British, and then it goes, like, Italian. So, should we make Joe Italian? Joe Paul, the Italian greedy goblin. But I'm gonna have to give him a very stereotypical Italian voice. It's gonna be really bad. Leo Worm, we meet again. That's what I'm going for. He's an Italian greedy goblin. Okay, here we go. Leo Worm, we meet again. You've met? Yes, it was a long, long time ago. Exterior, a park, back in time. A young Leo is sitting in a park listening to some classical music when a dark shadow casts over him. He looks up and sees Joe. Joe takes off his headphones. Would you like some caramel? Leo's eyes light up, but he studies Joe more closely and looks uneasily. I don't know. You look kind of greedy. That voice is like tearing my throat all to pieces. Me? No, I'm not greedy. I'm the least greedy goblin in the world. Wait, you're a goblin? Leo runs away screaming. Why would Leo run away screaming? He's the protagonist. He's a hero. Come on. I'm really disappointed in Leo. He just ran away. Okay, here we go. Next scene. Exterior, Central Park, New York, present day. You were a coward then, and you are a coward now. Tutu to Leo. You ran away? Leo to Tutu. I was a young child. Whoa, oh, he was a kid. Oh, now it makes sense. Oh, but I gave him a grown man's voice. My bad. I was a young child. What was I supposed to do? Leo turns to Joe. I may have run away from you then, but I won't run away this time. Leo runs away? What? He turns back and shouts. I mean, I am running away, but I'll be back with rifles. I'm not scared of you. You should be. This is so stupid. Okay. How much further do we have to go? Okay, it's not that far. Okay, so exterior Miami Beach later that day. Leo and Tutu walk around searching for something. I feel sure I left my rifles somewhere around here. Are you sure? It does seem like an odd place to keep deadly rifles. You know nothing, Tutu McGee. Why does that sound like you know nothing, Jon Snow? Is that a thing? Do people just say that? I thought that was just the thing that, oh shoot, now I can't think of her name. What's the girl's name from Game of Thrones? You know the girl, the redheaded girl. The one that was with Jon Snow and then she died. The one that he married in real life. I can't think of her name. Oh, that's terrible. That's going to bother me all day. Like, it's totally slipped my mind. Anyway. We've been searching for ages. I really don't think they're here. Suddenly, Joe appears, holding a pair of rifles. Oh my god, the goblin has the rifles. How'd he get there so quick? You're looking for something. Crikey. Oh no, did she just say crikey? Is she Australian? I should have given her an Australian accent. Dang it, it's too late now. Okay, well, apparently, so here's her backstory. She's American, but she lives in Australia currently. So that's why she says crikey, but with a US accent. Yeah, I'm gonna go with that. Looking for something. Crikey, Leo, he's got your rifles. Tell me something I don't know already. The Earth's circumference oh Jesus, I'd like slaughtered that word. The Earth's circumference is at the equator is about 4,075 kilometers. I know that already. I'm afraid of dust. Dude, this is such a weird scene. This is such a weird scene. It's not good. Okay. While Joe was looking at Tutu with disgust, Leo lunges forward and grabs his deadly rifles. He wields them triumphantly. Prepare to die, you greedy carrot. No, please. All I did was squash a bunch of kittens. Lisa enters, unseen by any of the other. Lisa's here. I thought she left. Okay. I cannot tolerate that kind of behavior. Those kittens were defenseless. And now they have a defender, and that's me. Leo Worm, defender of innocent kittens. Don't hurt me, please. Give me one good reason why I shouldn't use these rifles on you right away. Oh, Lord, what? Because, Leo, I am your father. Is this Star Wars? Is this Game of Thrones? Like, we already had you-know-nothing, Jon Snow, and now we have Darth Vader talking to Luke. Leo looks stunned for a few moments, but then collects himself. No, you're not. Huh. Ah, well, it had to be worth a try. Joe tries to grab the rifles, but Leo dodges out of the way. This is so bad. This is so bad. Ooh, well, who's the daddy now? Huh? Huh? I'm so glad I didn't read this beforehand. Oh, this is funny. Unexpectedly, Joe slumps to the ground. Did he just faint? I think so. Well, that's disappointing. I was rather hoping for a more dramatic conclusion involving my deadly rifles. Leo crouches over Joe's body. Be careful, Leo. It could be a trick. No. It's not a trick. It appears that it would seem Joe Paul is dead. What? Yes. It appears that I scared him to death. Tutu claps her hands. So your rifles did save the day after all. Lisa steps forward. Is it true? Did you kill the greedy goblin? Wait, oh no, what? I like switched voices. Is it true? Did you kill that greedy goblin? Lisa, how long have you been? Lisa puts her arm around Leo. Long enough. Then you saw it for yourself. I killed Joe Paul. Then the kittens are safe. It does seem that way. A crowd of vulnerable kittens enter, looking relieved. You are their hero. The kittens bow to Leo. Why? Why would they do that? There is no need to bow to me. I seek no worship. The knowledge that Joe Paul will never squash kittens again is enough for me. You are humble as well as brave. Man, my throat. One of the kittens passes Leo a magic pendant. Why would kittens have a magic pendant? What? Okay. I think they want you to have it as a symbol of their gratitude. Gratitude. Ugh, I couldn't say that in that accent for some reason. I don't know why. I couldn't possibly. Pause. Well, if you insist. Leo takes the pendant. Thank you. The kittens bow their head once more and leave. Leo turns to Lisa. Does this mean that you want me back? Oh, Leo, of course I want you back. Of course I want you back. Oh, my throat. Okay. I'm gonna have to take a swig here of my cranberry grape juice. I know you're probably thinking to yourself, if you're watching this on YouTube, why do you have a giant container of cranberry grape juice? Allow me to explain. You see, yesterday my grandfather went to the store and he brought me back a bag of chips and this cranberry grape juice, which is in fact my favorite of all juices. I didn't ask for it, he just volunteered, which was very kind because yesterday was his birthday and not mine. So last night I went to the kitchen to go get something to drink. I was really sleepy and I was really thirsty too. So I go back to my room and I realize instead of bringing back the cup of cranberry grape juice, I brought back the whole entire container. And I wasn't going back to the kitchen just to get a cup. So I said, well, shoot, I'm just gonna drink it from this bottle. You know, no one else is gonna drink it. It's my cranberry grape juice, so I see no harm done. I didn't think it all the way through though, because I did have to go back to the kitchen to go put the juice back in the fridge because I wasn't going to drink all of it. So I could have just gotten a cup. Anyway, I need some of it now because my throat is done from reading this stupid script. Such a good juice. Such a good juice. Okay, let's get back to the story. Where are we at? Leo smiles for a few seconds, then looks defiant. Well, you can't have me. What? You had no faith in me. You had to see me scare a goblin to death before you would believe in me, and I don't want a lover like that. But, Leo, please leave. I want to spend time with the one person who stayed with me through thick and thin, my best friend, Tutu. Tutu grins. But, you heard... Oh, this is Tutu. I was getting ready to speak in Leo's voice. This is Tutu. You heard the gentleman. Now be off with you. Skedaddle. Shoot. Leo. I'm sorry, Lisa, but I think you should skedaddle. Lisa leaves. And Tutu turns to Leo. Did you mean that? You know that I'm your best friend? Of course you are. The two walk off arm in arm. Suddenly Tutu stops. When I said I was afraid of dust, you know I was just trying to distract the goblin, don't you? The end. Okay, well, I'm gonna be honest with you here. R.L. Stane does not need to write any more scripts because this was pretty bad. This is awful. But it was funny, you know? And I'm glad I got to star as 4 different characters: Leo, Lisa, Tutu, and Joe. Joe, who was Italian. Tutu, who was, I pretty much gave just my regular voice. Leo, who was somewhat British, I guess. Because some of the words I said I could hear like a British accent trying to poke out of there. And Lisa, who was Southern Antebellum. Or at least that's what I was going for. Yeah, so that's that. Before we get into part 2 of this podcast, which will be significantly shorter than the first part, I do promise, I'd like to introduce you to a really cool podcast from Sydney, Australia called See You Next Tuesday, made by some friends in a garage. Their content is really entertaining and really just so much fun to listen to. I would highly recommend it if you have time to kill, maybe before you are going to work in the morning, like on your commute. You could listen to it. Or maybe you can pop in some headphones and listen to it while you work out in the gym. You could do like I used to do. I used to do my assignments in college and in high school listening to a podcast. I don't I don't recommend it if you like trying to really study, but if you're just doing something where you can really multitask, then yeah, you can listen to a podcast. This one is a good one. I also listen to podcasts while I clean, so I can see myself listening to this while I clean. I hate cleaning, it's really tedious, and so I always need something to make me laugh. This is that thing to make me laugh. You can find them on iTunes and Spotify. They also have a few episodes on Stitcher in case that's more your speed, but not all of them, but they do have a few. So if you already have Stitcher, I guess you could check it out on that too. Yeah, links will be in the description. If you're watching this on YouTube, it's in the description below. If you're not watching this on YouTube, then I'm not sure exactly where the description will be for each and every single individual platform that I'm putting this out on, but it'll be there. Again, it's See You Next Tuesday, and they're really, really cool stuff. So, oh, yeah. What was I about to say? I lost my train of thought that fast. Last thing I was saying was that the links are in the description for your convenience and for your listening pleasure. But what was I going to say after that? Wow! I lost my train of thought so fast. Oh, okay. I know. I really enjoyed listening to episode 5, which I believe was called Shower Thoughts with Hayden. So check that one out when you get the chance. I would never suggest something that I don't actually like, so you can trust me. And as I mentioned earlier, they're from Australia, which my brother and I are obsessed with. We love Australia. It's the best. It's where Sia was born, so that's cool too. She's my favorite singer, so yeah, there you go. Not even joking on that. It's really cool. Go check it out. All right, now for part 2 of the podcast. Now, because R.L. Stine is also a prolific book author as well as screenwriter, I've generated a short story for him too. Now, this one I did read beforehand. It's really short. My protagonist this time is Kate Curtis, and the secondary character is Joe Johnson. Didn't I just name somebody Joe? I think I did. I did. Joe Paul. I have a thing for naming people Joe, apparently. Okay. So I'm not gonna read through all the things that it wanted me to fill out, but they're here. And so I'm gonna read it now. See where this goes. I thought this one was pretty funny. There's one part in particular I cracked up laughing the first time I read this. Okay, so again, it generated a title for the book, and this one's called Two Forgetful Uncles Eating to the Beat. The first time I read that, I said, what? But here we go. Okay. Kate Curtis looked at the scraggly sandwich in her hands and felt concerned. She walked over to the window and reflected on her big surroundings. She had always loved Walmart. Busy with its uncooked, unsteady, unclean bathrooms. It was... Wow. Okay. Do I have tuberculosis? Because I'm coughing so much right now. Alright. Where was I at? Okay, here we go. It was a place that encouraged her tendency to feel concerned. Then she saw something in the distance, or rather someone. It was the figure of Joe Johnson. Joe was a controlling hero with feathery feet and scrawny lips. Kate gulped. She glanced at her own reflection. She was an energetic, rude brandy drinker with brunette feet. Brunette feet? I don't know. And short lips. Her friends saw her as an obedient, old-fashioned ogre. Oh my god, what friends does she have? She needs to find some new ones. Once, she had even brought an odd chicken back from the brink of death. Kate is something else. Okay. But not even an energetic person who had once brought an odd chicken back from the brink of death was prepared for what Joe had in store today. The foggy teased like bouncing hamsters, making Kate ambivalent. That sentence makes absolutely no sense. It really doesn't. I'm gonna read it again. The foggy teased like bouncing hamsters, making Kate ambivalent. That, oh, wow, it's so touching. As Kate stepped outside and Joe came closer, she could see the decomposing smile on his face. Why is his smile decomposing? Is he dead? I am here because I want revenge, Joe bellowed in a tactless tone. He slammed his Joe! He slammed his fist against Kate's chest with the force of 7,035 aardvarks. In the bottle. I friggin' hate you, Kate Curtis. So here's like the setup. Kate's at Walmart and she's like looking at how much she loves Walmart because it's got unclean bathrooms apparently. And she looks and she sees someone's coming towards her, and the dude has like feathers on his feet and really scrawny lips, and now he comes to her and he tells her that he wants revenge for whatever reason, while hitting her in the chest and saying, I friggin' hate you. Kate? What is wrong with this guy? Kate looked back, even more ambivalent and still fingering the scraggly sandwich. What in the world is this story? Joe, you suck, she replied. Oh no, what is this? R.L. Stain strikes again with these bad stories. They looked at each other with jumpy feelings, like two easy, enthusiastic elephants, smiling. This was the part that got me. Let me start over. They looked at each other with jumpy feelings, like two easy, enthusiastic elephants smiling at a very lovable Christmas Eve dinner, which had R&B music playing in the background and two forgetful uncles eating to the beat. Y'all, that sentence? It's such a run-on sentence, but it's so good. There's just so much going on in that one sentence. Okay. Kate studied Joe's feathery feet and scrawny lips. Eventually, she took a deep breath. I'm sorry, but I can't give you revenge, she explained in pitying tones. And Joe looked irritable, his body raw like a raspy rare rock. Kate could actually hear Joe's body shatter into 5,511 pieces. That's a really specific number of pieces. And then the controlling hero hurried away into the distance. Not even a glass of brandy would calm Kate's nerves tonight. The end. Okay. Now let me like dissect this last part of the story. So Kate, after getting punched in the chest, she's like touching her sandwich and she tells Joe that he sucks, okay? And so they look at each other. Okay. My SD card was full, so I'm not really sure where I cut off at. I'm just gonna go back to where I think I was. Yeah, Kate, like, she touches her sandwich, and then she's looking at Joe, and they're just smiling at each other happily. Because, okay, let me go back and read that sentence again so you can fully grasp how weird this is. It says, they looked at each other with jumpy feelings, like two easy, enthusiastic elephants smiling at a lovable Christmas Eve dinner, which had R&B music playing in the background and two forgetful uncles eating to the beat. Can you even imagine? Can you even imagine that? Like, you've got they're looking at each other, but that's not the part that's so funny to me. The fact that they can you imagine you're sitting there at Christmas Eve dinner you're sitting there at Christmas Eve dinner and you've got two uncles at the table and they're like eating to the beat of the song. Like, They got a spoon of mashed potatoes, and they've got this song playing in the background, and every time something happens, every time like the beat changes, or I don't even know how to explain it, but you get what I'm saying. They're just like eating to the beat of the song. That's so weird. Would love to see that. I'm gonna have to try that when I go fix myself something to eat after I record this. I'm gonna have to eat to the beat of a song. I'm just gonna be like, if it was Staying Alive by the Bee Gees, be like, staying alive. But every time, oh gosh, with every beat, I've got to bite something. That is so weird. Okay, so it also came with some praise, some reactions to the book Two Forgetful Uncles Eating to the Beat by R.L. Stine. The Daily Tale wrote, I feel like I know Kate Curtis. In a way, it feels as though I've always known her. That's really cool. Like, I'm so glad they enjoyed my story. Enid Kibler wrote, about as enjoyable as being held on whilst, she did say whilst, taking in washing that has been targeted by seagulls with the squids. Okay, well, I'm gonna just go ahead and say this. I have no idea what that is. I'm gonna assume here, and just take a wild guess, that seagulls with the squids is like like having the squirts, like squids but with an R. Which would mean basically that this comment is saying that my story was as fun as being pooped on while taking in clothes that were hanging up outside by seagulls with diarrhea. That's basically, let me reword that one more time. Reading my story was as fun as going outside to go get your clothes that were hanging up on the clothesline and being pooped on by seagulls with diarrhea. Gosh, that is an amazing comment. It's so weird, but like the way that this was worded was just fantastic. I've got to write things like that. Okay, Hit the Spoof says, saying the foggy tea is like bouncing hamsters is just the kind of literary device that makes this brilliant. I agree, Hit the Spoof. I agree totally, wholeheartedly that that literary device was exactly what we need in today's literature. I agree. And the last reaction was from Zob Gloop, who wrote, I could do better. Thanks, I guess. Alright, Zob, you write your own story then. So rude. Okay. Well, that, my friends, is all for this episode. I'm going to go fix myself something to eat. Again, thank you for showing up today. I don't know if I said that already. Normally I say that at the beginning of my podcast. I say thank you so much for stopping by. If this was your first time here, then congratulations, you've made a wonderful decision. And if this is not your first time here, then I'm even more excited because that means you come back every single week for more. And that's great because that means you like my episodes. And I'm so happy about that. But yeah, make sure you check out See You Next Tuesday, which is the podcast I mentioned earlier in the episode. And also don't forget that this entire episode is dedicated in memory to Jacob Harris. Thank you so much for watching. And I will see you next week on Wednesday for more. That's about it. Okay, bye.